kind of things I remember as a child are usually connected with music and things like that. And I also remember that when I was 12, up until I was 12 at least, I remember I used to, especially on weekends, I'd wake up in the morning and I would wonder who was playing in the street, you know, who was out there to play with. But I would just float out of my body and go through the window and around the corner of the house and go look on the street and see who was playing. And then if it was someone I wanted to play with, I'd get out of bed, dress, go out, grab a sandwich usually, you know, something to eat, and go out. And the person that I saw there was there. And so I thought everybody could do it. And of course they can, but this relates to the Hopi Indians also, who say when they say goodbye to their families and they're walking away, they say, don't forget to keep the door on the top of your head open.
So was this?
So this is sort of a connection for me.
Was this astral projection?
Well, it's out of the body experience, and we do it. We all do it as children up until about 12, before the soft spot on the top of our heads, hardens over. But it's not that it doesn't stop us from doing it. It's just that you have to work at it more through meditation.
Amazing.
But the childhood was World War II, and I remember all of those things. I think one thing in particular was the end of the war, VE Day. I remember that all of the neighbors brought out tables and chairs, and they put them all together in the middle of the road, all the tables and then the chairs, and they brought out white, clean bed sheets and covered it, and everybody brought every bit of food and drink that they stored and stashed for the occasion, and there was a big street party everywhere. And I remember enjoying that very much, but I was at the end, everything cleared up, and then everyone back into their doors, and you never saw them again. Not literally, but that always stuck with me as how everyone came together, all of the neighborhood came together to celebrate the end of the war, which is natural, of course, but the fact that then after that everybody got busy doing what they do, and
at the end of the community spirit.
It was, in a sense, yes.
But your parents, were they very musical? I know you had the piano in the house, but was your father a musician?
Yeah, actually he was self-taught musician. He was in India for 6 years with the military. He joined when he was quite young. And he got a piece of wood and actually painted on a keyboard and had a music book, and he learned to play on a piece of wood.
That was your father?
Yeah, my dad, Bert. And then he told me how he saved all his money and he managed to get a beautiful accordion. And they were on a troop ship. They got shipped from one place to another on a troop ship, and it got torpedoed. And so, to save his friend, he let the accordion go and actually pulled a guy to shore.
So who was your favourite Beatle, or who did you get on best with?
Actually, I got on with all of them really great. I love them all. They all are just wonderful. The most wonderful guys I ever came across. In fact, the memories were jolted just a few weeks ago. Paul came through with his tour, and we went and saw the show and got to see him afterwards, and old times. It was really nice.
Wonderful.
And then Ringo's coming through in about 3 weeks, so we're going to go see Ringo too. So that'll give me a chance to say hello again and get a big hug,
Because there was, interestingly, there's the connection between the Mellotron and the Beatles too, wasn't there? What was the...
Well, yes,
there?
I'm the connection between the Mellotron and the Beatles, yeah. I remember being they invited me to some recording sessions and things, and that was a very privileged feeling. And I remember they were working on some material, and I was hanging out with the roadies, with Neil and Neil Aspinall, and I said to Neil, I've been working on this instrument, and I really think that the guys could use this, So I gave them all the details, the phone number, the address, the cost of it, and everything, and they went ahead and ordered 2 immediately. And I loved it when I heard Strawberry Fields.
They used it on Strawberry Fields, and
yeah, it was right when they were beginning, right before Pepper, I guess.
I bet Strictly Electronics were pleased, weren't they?
I think they were. Yeah. I'm happy to claim, that I turned them onto the Mellotron.
So, was it John Lennon playing the Mellotron? Did he play it? Was it John?
John played it and Paul, but I don't know the exact details. But I think it was Paul who played the most noticeable. What was it? What's the song?
Strawberry.
Can I take you down? Yeah, Strawberry Fields. Yeah.
Yes, a very eerie sound the mellotron had. Once again, it was unique, really. Wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
So, with the Beatles, was there ever a chance of you maybe working with the Beatles in some capacity?
Well, having done the tour and everything, that was really great. But I went to a few sessions, but usually, everyone was set, and I was just happy to be there and hang around, But I did get to play. I went over to John's when he was doing the Imagine album, and it was one of the last tracks. It was the I Don't Want to Be a Mama, Don't Want to Be a Soldier Mama, and the mellotron was open and all the tapes were hanging out. So the mellotron was not usable for me to use. Nicky Hopkins was already on piano, so I was like, what am I going to do? Oh, there's no tambourine player. So I grabbed a tambourine, and they were out of microphones. And so Jim Keltner was on drums, and I said, hey Jim, can I share the hi-hat mic with you? And so we got a level, and away we went. I'd never heard the song before. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, and away we go. And I played the tambourine all the way through it, and never heard the song or anything. I mean, it was just a one-off. And
what was the song called again, Mike?
I Don't Want to Be a Soldier Mama.
Wonderful. So that was your experience backing the Beatles.
That's right, backing the Beatles. Yeah. and I was playing by the seat of my pants. Never heard the song before or anything, and just managed to pull it off. I was happy to stay around, but they wanted to go straight on to tour, and I was in love and wanted to get married and have kids and do those things, and it was like that timing was not right for me. I'd said something to Graham one time at a recording session, and I was working out a song with Justin, and he kept interrupting me, and I was being creative in terms of it was the ideas of the moment with the song, the way I always worked with Justin, and I just said, can you shut up, you're just a drummer, or something like that. And of course I hurt him, and of course I realized it, and I didn't really mean it, but I've tried various ways to sort of to let him know through other people that I'm sorry that happened. So that's unfortunate, and, but I'll make it public. I'm sorry that I said that to him. He was just on the spur of the moment, and he was interrupting my creatives. The juices were flowing, and he was like, "Can you hold off?" And he wouldn't, so I just said something wrong.
Yes, it does happen, doesn't it? People
Yesterday, all my troubles,
But what were your relationships still with, say, John Lodge, and were you matey with John?
It was still fine, yeah, still matey with John, Justin, Ray. But we never really talked to each other or anything, People said, aren't you going to go to the show? And you're going to say, no. I mean, do you go watch your ex-wife make love to her new boyfriend? No. What would the point of me going to watch my old band? It doesn't make sense. Cold-hearted all that rules the night, removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion. That's for you, Graham.